Hello, welcome to another video. In this video, we'll cover function Sumif, Countif, and now. I've already created demo data so we can apply the Sumif, Countif, and now. But let's start with now, with a now function. We usually start by typing an equal sign as usual and type now. If you type now and put bracket open and closing with no argument, you can see it will return the date and time of that particular day and time of that particular specific moment. So it's a function which returns time, but we usually don't prefer using now function. We prefer using a date picker, so that if you have values or date, you're entering data, for example, Friday's data, and today is Sunday, you're entering the data in Monday or in Sunday, you can go back to enter data in that specific day, but then now it will enter the data, the specific today data. Usually that's how it works. Now let's go with sum and sum if. Let's exit here. Let's go with sum and sum if. This function can be applied when we want to sum, but we say a particular criteria, or when we want to count, but we say particular criteria. Now let me finish creating a balance sheet and add a debit amount for each of the description item which were added, and then we can see how we can count specific items that we want to count, or we can sum the specific items that we want to count. We want to sum. Now let's see if the first laptop, 500,000. Let's say it's 1 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yes. A printer, 500,000. Electricity bill, let's say it's 40,000. Water bill, let's say it's 30,000. Fuel, let's say it's 250,000. Car repair, let's say it's 450,000. Now let me format my column C so that I can read the amount very well. We will not use the credit, but what we are about to do can also be applied to credit. So since we want to sum if, and we want to create a criteria for summing value that we want to sum, we usually add something. We usually add the column name category. So I'll name it category. With a column named category, it will help us as the criteria. It will help us to have a criteria that will be using to sum if or to count if. So with the description of the balance sheet, I have several items. Some of the items are repeated, but they're written in random. But in category, I will be writing all the category. I'll be writing category tag with specificity. That means for all laptops, no matter it's Dell, it's HP, or no matter how it's written, it will only be written in tag. It will be given laptop. So this is another one here. Since it's HP laptop, it will be laptop. For printer, let's say just it's in office issues. It will be office. Electricity bill, it will be in bill. Its tag will be bill. Remember the category column, I've just introduced it, and the tag that I'm adding, I'm just defining them so that in the sum if function we can utilize the category to find the criteria and the sum and the range to find that criteria. So water bill, it will be given bill tag, and fuel, let's put it in car, and car repair, let's put it in car. Now when we want to sum if, we'll start writing the formula sum if. Now when you write sum if, you read you can read the text here saying add the cells specified by a given condition or criteria. Now when we press an open bracket, you can see there is a range, criteria, and sum range. Now what is a range? Range is where we'll be looking for our criteria. So our criteria first will be laptop. We'll be looking for a laptop. We'll be looking for sum if for all the laptop that we have bought. So here the range will be all the category column that contain all our tags in that particular entire month or in that particular entire day. The criteria here, I'll put comma and put the string methods, whereby inside here I'll write laptop once I've written laptop, that will be criteria which will be looked for in the range I have provided. But after, I need to provide the sum range. After the criteria has been found in the range that we are searching in it, what should it do? It should sum up the debit. So that's the range, the sum range which is supposed to provide. After here, I'm supposed to close the function with a bracket. Once I press enter, you can see the sum if here is, yes, it's 1,500,000. So in our balance sheet, we can see we have 2 laptops, but we were able to add only 2 laptops out of our entire debit here. Let's find the sum of the entire debit below. Yes, it's 2 million. Now we have the sum of all the debit. Let's assume it's that entire sum, 2 million and those particular amount. Now we have already sum for the laptop, and we get only the 2 laptop from this 2 million and those amount. The laptop we only spent 1.5 amount. Now usually we prefer the tag to be written outside so we can see it. Now let me add another column. I say tag or tags, and I'll write here laptop. Now we can update the Sumif so that this laptop is only referenced to this value which is written here in the column F. Now once I press OK, this value, this function is operating by having this tag. If we delete this tag, the Sumif won't function. Now I'll return the laptop. Now let's sum all the office supplies or any office anything that is written by is written office tag in category. Now I'll go again with Sumif, put an open bracket. Here is the range which we are supposed to look for our criteria. What is our criteria? Our criteria here is office. The sum range is our entire debit column. When I press enter, you can see it's how much that is? It's 500,000, and is the only bill which has tag office. Now if we have bills, let's finish for bill and car. Let's start with bill. Again, we'll have Sumif. Inside Sumif, we'll have the range for the categories, all the categories that we'll be dealing with. The tag is bill, which is our criteria that we are looking for. We'll sum inside our entire debit column, and we can see it's 7,000. Okay, and the cars, the cost we incurred during cars, you can okay, the range here, the range. The criteria is car, which is the tag, and we're supposed to provide the sum range, the entire debit column. And when I press enter, it returned to 700,000. Now if I were to sum all these values, you can see they are the same as 2,777,000. Now here we only summed with a specific criteria. The criteria was laptop, office, bill, or car. So we only had 4 criteria. But in this amount, we were able to distribute how much was spent in each tag that we created. Now let's see how we can count how we can count items with a specific condition using Countif. Now Countif, it's different with when we were dealing with count and counter. The only thing is Countif always count numbers with all count cell range, which has that has no count cell range which has value, but with that specific condition satisfies. So our specific condition here is this tag. Now we're supposed to provide the range first. Provide the range, and then the criteria here it's tag. Now remember, the laptop category will only appear only to item which indicate that we spend that particular amount in a laptop. So since I provided the range and the criteria, I can press enter. Now we can see in this amount there were only 2 laptop bought. How about in our office expenses? Now I can write count. I can check in my category where the tags are, and the value that I want to check. No, I've written count. It's supposed to be Countif. Okay, here is the category, I pass it, and then the criteria here is office. Once I press enter, you can see in our balance sheet, the office expense was only one. There were only one office expense. Now let's see in our bill, how many bills do we get in that particular month of balance sheet. Now we'll provide the range, which is that, and then we'll provide the criteria, which is bill. So you can see we had 2 bills in that particular entire month, which resulted to 70,000. Okay, so let's go to another item that we want to count. If how many rows we had that resulted to car issues or resulted to car expenses. So I'll also go to category, and then no, it's supposed to be Countif. Sorry. Supposed to be Countif. You're also supposed to pass Countif, and then I'll pass the criteria here, which is car. You can see in our entire balance sheet had the count of all the item in our balance sheet where it shows 4. Yes, there were 4. Basically, it counts the number of cells which are not empty. But if we sum all these numbers, we can have a number of items which were in our balance sheet. Now, if I auto sum, yes, 7 is the number of each item which were present in our balance sheet. But 2 were laptop, 1 it was office expense, 2 were bills, and 2 were expenses which we had incurred in cars. So that's all when we are talking about Sumif and Countif function as far as Excel is concerned. Thank you.